What is the worst thing to happen to you during sex? Her little fucking rat dog of a chihuahua snuck in the room while we're fucking and attacked me. You have no idea how fast a man can move when there is a set of tiny evil teeth combing at your junk. Did your junk live to tell the tale? I think it burned up from how fast he was moving. I came inside my girlfriend and pulled out and it got all over my bed. Before we had a chance to clean it up, my cat jumped on the bed right in it. Sorry, Bender. He did not like that bath. You got cum on both pussies, lol. Sorry. Couldn't resist. All I'm gonna say is if you do one of those spicy food challenges at a restaurant, make sure use some mouthwash or something and wash your hands really well before sexy time. Tore my frenulum. Ah, the ol banjo string. The guy had a sudden pain. One side of his penis and groin turned black and blue. Had to go to the ER. Thought I broke his penis. It was a blood clot that moved there due to what was going on the erection. Had my cervix hammered at the wrong angle and bruised it. I almost went to the ER but suffered through after some DR. Google made me feel like I wasn't going to die for once. I bled a little but the pain lasted days. For sure was waddling to walk for the first day. I once passed out mid-climax. I didn't eat that day and I just collapsed on her. She thought I straight up died on her. Wasn't too serious but was definitely not fun. I actually know someone who was with a man who died during sex. He was an older fellow and I guess his heart couldn't handle it. It fucked her up for a long time. That's fucking terrifying. Started farting uncontrollably. In rhythm to my thrusts. Thank God they were dry. My boyfriend let loose with a loud fart during some fancy moves. I knew he was a keeper when we both just died laughing. We've been married a decade now. Worst for me physically. Pulling both hamstrings. First one. Then the other while compensating. Worst for me mentally. My GF's mom walking in on us. 3 times now. Bonus afterward when I heard her gossiping with a friend about it over the phone. Might just want to let GF's mom know ahead of time so she can find a seat before everything starts up. I was banging my girl doggy style. Her dog jammed his snout in my crack and started licking my asshole. Closest I ever got to a threesome. I was getting a hand job from my girl now ex and NGL. I just fell asleep. I was really tired from the night before. And the hand job wasn't that good either. She noticed when I started snoring. Not me but a friend of mine blew a brain aneurysm. Dude, that has always been an extremely specific fear of mine. While having car sex, had a very nice elderly woman pull over to make sure we were okay. So she didn't join? Was on top and went to kiss him as he was coming up and cracked my nose on his big ass forehead. It made a pop and I was so sure it broke. But ended up only being sore for a days. He picked on me making Owen Wilson jokes for like 2 days after because I kept freaking out about if it was crooked or not. Ow. My ex-GF got up in the middle of the night and slammed face first into the door. We found out she slightly fractured her nose. She laughed her ass off once the pain calmed down. Halfway through breakup, sex ended on decent terms. There was one thrust way too hard and I got sharp pain. Yelped out in pain and we paused for a second but went back a little gentler. At the end I stood up and my entire torso was sore and sharp pain at the same time. I waited about 30 minutes. Sobbing on the floor before I let him take me to the ER. 3 hours and a CT scan later. Turns out he fucked me so hard that he burst a cyst on my ovary. She started shaking and hyperventilating, mumbling the name XXXX over and over. Had no idea what was happening, I just cradled her. Apparently that was her best friend's name that raped her years ago, and we were getting so rough she had a PTSD flashback. We went out for a walk after and ordered pizza. She was sitting on my face, and I rolled my head back right when she came down. My front tooth pierced her about 2 centimeters away from her clitoris. By her urethra. She moaned and drew away for a second. Then jumped up to the bathroom. I looked down and saw a significant pool of blood on my chest. I remember the sound of an ear piercing. Like rapid fire puncturing. But with my tooth. I was eating her out. When she began to climax. She had her thighs on my shoulders with her legs up. She began squeezing my neck really hard. Not wanting to ruin her orgasm, I kept going until I passed out from her choking me out like that. She thought she killed me. I was only out for like a minute, but to her it was like 5. Well, at least that's not the worst way to go. Newly pregnant with our first baby and had some weird morning sickness, but also was insanely horny. Was riding my husband and ended up throwing up all over him and the bed when I climaxed. Gagged on my boyfriend's dick mid-deep throat and let out a giant fart. Better than throwing up on his dick like me. Thankfully closed my mouth around it and caught it all. Made it to the bathroom, but it was still so embarrassing. I once broke a guy's banjo. We had finished, there was blood on both of us and neither of us knew who was he. Started to feel the pain. Dude, how do you even fix that? I didn't even know it could break. One time during sex the cat decided he needed pets and laid on my chest and stared at my husband. The other pussy wanted attention too, lol. He was going to fucking town on me with some toys while eating me out. Right as I came super hard. Saw stars, I blasted a giant queef right in his sweet face. In my defense, he was the one cramming a bunch of air all up in there. Guy I lost my virginity invited me over. We were both in high school. I apparently wasn't over my period yet, so got blood on his dick and he got so mad he kicked me out. I had no car. So his best friend ended up picking me up and driving me home and apologized on his behalf. It was my first time having sex and the girl's mother came in. It was Mother's Day. Player 3 has joined. My dad forgot something at home and came back from work one morning. Caught me and my ex-BF butt ass naked going at it. I was in GR12 and skipping school. Said I felt sick but I got that early morning dick. The dude was like 6'5", but I've never seen someone jump so high and flee off the bed so fast before. Worst part was I ran into the closet and he found me in there. Covering my cooch with one hand and my titties with another. Didn't come home for like a week after that and stayed at my mom's. At 19 I broke my left hip. Reverse cowgirl gone so very wrong. We still finished. Got a hip replacement and ride like a champ now. Married the guy. He was my high school BF. He was 20. When the big O passed, it definitely hurt. Someone came in my throat and it came out of my nose. Broke my pinky as I was shifting my position during missionary. My girlfriend, wife now, and I both heard it crack, but I was so into it that I finished. Went to the washroom. Reset the finger and never even went to the hospital. It healed on its own, but there's still a bit of a crook to the right. We still laugh about it to this day. Did you not feel any pain from it? I had an ex who liked for me to finger her ass while I ate her out. One time while doing so I could feel the turds actually working their way out. I quickly stopped. That sounded like a shitty situation. I had a partner stop in the middle of giving me head, walk out, and never talk to me again. Sorry for laughing to this. But what in the actual fuck? My mom called halfway through. The really sad part is I kept going with obviously decreased enthusiasm. After I finished, I stood up and kinda jumped off the bed and hit my forehead on the edge of the ceiling fan which was on and landed off balanced on the floor and rolled my ankle bad. So bad it was swollen up like a baseball. I had to wear an air cast for close to a month. It's been 6 months I think now and it's still not fully healed. The condom spilled all over the carpet and I got rug burn on one knee. I couldn't move cause I was in so much pain and my wife was just like WTF. To be fair I think it was just after. Not during. But my less than 6-month-old cat tried to latch onto my nipple. Toss between the bloody nose and his mom almost caught us. Edit. Definitely being caught by his mom. Then her apologizing for scaring me. Pooped on the girl. What? I was once getting oral from a very sweet but inexperienced guy. He started to do well after listening to me guide him and I guess he wanted to add a little bit of his own razzle-dazzle. He did this by chomping down on my clitoris. Twice. Got bit in the nose by one of my cats. Ruined by momentum. GF made a silly face while we were making eye contact. I lost my boner. Didn't get to finish. Damn how silly was her face. She crossed her eyes and did a little derpy smile. After I nut in her, I sat down. She put her vagina in my face. And I said guess I'm eating my own cum. She laughed for a straight 10 minutes. The dog starts licking my balls. At least he didn't try humping you trying to join in on the fun. I could just see him. Oh, we're thrusting? Awesome, I love thrusting. Let's do this. First time I gave head. My ex didn't warn me before he came so I spit it out immediately. Always warn a gal or guy when you're about to bust a nut in their throat, goddamn. She whispered, "I love you," in my ear. I knew she was lying. Mood went from hilarious to depresso espresso. The wrong hole incident. Everything was way too lubricated, I guess. In addition to thrusting very enthusiastically. And he went out of the bag and fully sunk into my asshole. Worst pain of my life. My ears started ringing. Got tunnel vision and nearly blacked out. My mom walked in on us. I think we managed to convince her we weren't. We never talked about it. I'm not going to talk about it. Your mom knows. She's not a fool. Just never bring it up and keep a better ear out for car doors. Anal. She pooped on my dick. I puked on her back. You can't knock on Poop's door and be surprised when he answers. Why don't more people know this? LMAO, like that's her turd house, dude.